Okay, here we go. We're rocking and rolling. I just put the IQ up here because that's all I'm trading. That's going to be the best. It is the best instrument for momentum. Always has, always will be. It just moves like an animal. So we're going to just put that up. I could bring up other charts if people are interested. Gold, oil, Bitcoin, whatever. But I'm just going to keep it nice and simple. We're going to watch that. So order speeds up, obviously. Market open, it's always going to spike. Momentum's down for the day. I'm out for this last little while here. And coming into some liquidity here. I got an indicator to market, but it's glitching out, so I'm going to be coming into some liquidity here. So it's either going to bounce or we're just going to blast right through it. We're going to steal all that liquidity and come lower. We'll just see. Judging by this push here, likely it's just going to do what it did, which was grab the liquidity hard and come back up. I would be more long bias at the moment once we break above the 50 and the 200. I am long bias. I'm not in long, but I'm long bias. Okay, we see momentum shifting. The background changed color. This background is based on an ATR calculation, so it is actually an indicator. It's not just doesn't just look good; it functions. So this is a sign of a change of momentum. So that's the first thing. The bar outline, that's also an indicator. It's still red at the moment, so we're going to want to see that turn green as well. On the 1 minute, it's green, and we got a signal on the 1 minute. Now with this strategy, we can just take it, the signal right now, and put a stop at the last candle or the second candle I like. I don't necessarily trade the 1 minute, especially at the first couple minutes. The range in the market is so high. So on the NQ, I like the 2 minute anyways, but I look at the 1 minute as a heads up. But we're still a lot of down momentum on the 1 minute, and still the 2 minute, the momentum's still down as well. So yeah, we'll just see what happens here. Pretty whippy this morning. We had a big down day on Friday. Let's see what we got for news today. So, as far as economic news, Monday we have we don't have much. Singapore had CPI. Germany had an IFO survey. Europe, HICP, and then for the U.S., we got the Chicago Fed national activity at 8:30, which already happened, obviously, and the Fed manufacturing survey at 10:30. Those are low impact. They're not going to do much, so I wouldn't worry about them. What do we got this week? Fed Bank. We got GDP on Thursday. Jobless claims at 8:30, so that'll be volatile. I'm short bias now. Even when it come up, it didn't want to. Now if I get a signal, I'm going to take it right away. and then we're probably going to head for those lows. So when I get in, I use a dynamic stop and target. So I'll use 2 candles ago, the high from 2 candles back, and then basically a 1-to-1 or a little bit less than a 1-to-1 from that. Usually like a 1 to 0.85. Yeah. So a little bit of a negative risk reward on each trade, but the thing is, I'm dynamic. So what happens is when I have when 2 candles back is a lot more, I have a bigger target, and those trades tend to work out more than the smaller ones. So even though on that specific trade it's a negative risk reward, overall my winners are bigger than my smallers using this, because when we do have big candles, it's more probable to hit, and it's a lot bigger target. So we're coming into these lows here. It's going to be a lot of volume and a lot of liquidity there. We did get a signal on the 1 minute. Big push down, eh? So this is an area to watch. We got this low here, this low, and this low. We'll see what happens coming into this. That 1 minute signal would have worked out nice, this one. Sometimes that's why I say it's more conservative to wait for it to close. Because you would have saw the signal, waited for this to close, and you would have noticed it's a red bar, and it opened lower, so you wouldn't take it. But this one, if you waited for it, you would see the next bar is down. Now it's not a big push bar. I like to have a big push bar. Well, it is a big push bar because this wouldn't have formed yet. So yeah, you would have a nice big push bar closing, showing momentum. Order speed is not extreme. This is measures the speed, like a speedometer in your car. This is measuring the speed of the orders in the market, and the top one is just measuring the momentum. So what I'm watching for is I don't want to see extreme order speed when I'm getting in, because that's telling me there's a possibility that with extreme order speed, it's getting exhausted and it might turn around. I do want to see some. Like here, this isn't extreme. If it was above these, I would say extreme, but it wasn't extreme. So, I mean, for this trade, I didn't take it, but everything would have lined up. you would saw this close with down momentum. The background's down, the moving averages are down, the cloud's down, the bar outline's down, the bar's down, and the momentum's not order speed is an extreme. So that's that's an A+ setup. And then the stop and go at the last candle. Well, I do it on the 2-minute, but I don't know exactly where it opened because it's hike and ashy, but we'll say, at the 2 candles ago would have been your stop. So depends on what you want. 2 candles ago, if you just want to do a quick scalp, just a little bit above the last candle, boom, easy 100 ticks. You can also do it other ways too, so you can just hang on to the trade and wait for something to tell you to get out. I mean, there's nothing telling you to get out at the moment. The bar outline's red, the background's red, momentum's red, order speed is average. You can just wait for it to come back into the moving averages or come to the median line. There's different ways to trade it, but that's the 1 minute's a little bit more high risk, but doesn't mean it doesn't work. A 2-minute would have been good, but I try to shy away before market open. I don't like to get in too early. I like to be picky with my trades, as you could say. Yeah, if anybody has any questions about anything, shoot me a message here. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk and watch. We can look at other things. I think I saw someone trading gold. Here's gold. So we had a decent signal there. Gold is mostly up. Had a really big push down here. That would have been a real nice signal there on gold, wouldn't it? Easy 50 ticks there at the market open. Would have been a good trade. Big push candle. Momentum red, background red, moving averages red. Order speed was a little high. That would disqualify the trade for me. Between the order speed and it sitting right on VWAP, that would disqualify. And you can see it did struggle after the order speed and at VWAP. But could have worked out. we're having a little struggle here at these lows. That's the next area to watch. I'd be surprised if it was another big down day, but Friday was pretty straight down. But hey, we've been up for the last 15 years, so I guess at some point it'll come. Yeah, but it's not looking all that strong. It will probably want to have a huge, massive short squeeze to clear that. I don't know if it'll be today, but maybe sometime this week. There's going to be real thin. It's going to want to probably come to here at least. If we can break these highs and it really gets cooking, we're coming to here. No doubt about it. But for now, we're going to see what the big boys are doing. We're coming down. Wow. Yeah. That 1 minute would have worked out real well, eh? Look at that. $50, $60 points. Not really much of a sign to get out. Well, I guess here. Probably could have. But we didn't have a single green candle. So even though the candles are an up candle, it won't turn green unless all three of the moving averages turn green as well. Because it's all momentum based. So we're not looking at charts in the traditional way. Like green is up, red is down. It's all momentum. So green is up momentum, red is down momentum, not necessarily up and down price, because price can diverge from momentum. So that's why we do everything we do. That's why we got the Heikin-Ashi and not time-based. That's why the candles change color the way they do. Yeah, still coming down, eh? And here we come. Well, we cleared those lows. Really cleared those, eh? Wow. Look at it go. Too bad I didn't take that 1 minute on confirmation. That would have been good. We are just crashing. Look at this go. Straight down. What a push. Still, wow. I'm surprised at how high the order speed is staying. Even after 10, 12 minutes into the open, that it's still moving fast. It has not slowed down. It's common to see the first couple minutes here like this, and then it kind of comes right down. But today it's not doing that. It is just fast, fast, fast. I don't know if I'll get any trades today. Unless I want to get aggressive. Or if it relaxes for a little bit and it wants to make another leg lower after that, I might be able to get in. Long, I don't know. I got to get above the 50 and the 200. So I set these signals. I have filters for the signals too, for the arrows. They're filtered by background if I want, by moving averages. I have what's called lightning trends, those trend lines that have ATR and CCI built in. I can filter by that. So I have a lot of filters. But right now I have it set for, it won't give me a long unless we're above. Because I want the overall momentum to be with me as well. So, I mean, this was kind of right on it, but I guess I would have had to close below for the signal to print. Let's look around the market here. Well, Down, down, down. That's a sharp move. What a push down. Jeez. I'm regretting not taking that 1 minute signal. That was perfect. Could have had 200 points. Could have been up 200 points. And if I just waited for the moving averages to turn green before I get out, yeah. 800. Could have been an 800 tick move. Holy crap. But momentum stayed down the whole time. So you get in the trade. It did not once for a single bar have positive momentum. Not once. Even when it was green here, momentum was still down. And you can see order speed slowing down. So when it come up, you could see order speed slowing down. That's telling you it's not coming up on pressure. It's just floating up. Pressure is when you got the order speed. And then look, as soon as the order speed picked up, boom, comes right down. So even if you were watching, you would say, yeah, the background turned green, but the candles never turned green. The momentum never turned green. The order speed didn't confirm. It was declining. And there's the first green background. Okay, declined, declined, declined. So that tells you it's just taking a breath. It's not reversing. Same thing here. We had a little bit of a relax. Order speed dropped. And then we got the order speed coming back in to push down. Yeah, what a crazy push this morning. That's big. From highs we're about 350 points. Over 1,000 ticks. Good. Guess I'm really getting a bit of FOMO. I didn't take this one. Would have been perfect. Stopped 2 candles ago. Maybe left a runner. Took a little bit and just left a runner. Starting to come up now, but yeah. Sometimes I can leave a runner and just wait for this this cloud to turn green before I get out, as a signal to get out. The MFI diamonds are also a good thing to look at. MFI high and low. Those just signal a shift in momentum, and they're good because if you want to run an automated strategy and you can input an exit signal, using the MFIs are a good thing to use for an exit signal as well for the automated strategy. It does show up as a plot, so it is usable. Okay, 10 o'clock. Couple 100 points later. Let's look at some things here. I need to get my liquidity zones indicator working. I should have it tomorrow. It just paints zones, and you can turn it on and off. And I could go to a bigger time frame, but sometimes you can't see anything. So there would be a zone somewhere. It would have marked these, and then it disappears when it breaks. It just marks the highs and the lows, but a zone. It's nice to know. I like to see those. If I get a good looking signal right into a zone, I take it because there's a good chance it's going to run that liquidity. Now, it could reverse there after a little while. Some people would take it as like a double top or an order block if you're ICT. They mark zones like that as reversals or for a break and retest as well. That's the other thing. So we do a liquidity run at a zone. Let's say we're coming into a top and we get a signal. I'm expecting a liquidity run because we're having momentum. That's why I got the signal. And if we run, there's going to be other momentum traders coming in, like for the break and retest, break the zone, retest and go. There's going to be ICT guys that are looking at order blocks there. So they might go short so we can run that liquidity. And then there's just basic retailers that are saying, oh, well, it's double bottom. It's stopped here. We got to buy. So, and a lot of times it wants to grab liquidity before it goes. So usually that's enough for me to get my trade in. A good example is this right here, this wick. I just wanted to grab liquidity before it goes. It's called the 2B. We'll call it the 2B. I'll have to post that somewhere. The 2B bounce. It's like a little trampoline. So you picture a trampoline here. Whoop. Goes into the trampoline and it goes. So a lot of times it wants to do that. I like taking advantage of that. I mean, for me, this isn't a trade setup, but say this was at a top and this happened. I mean, 40 points, 40, 50 points, that's enough. 200 ticks. That's a decent trade. At least for the first one. You can set to break even and do a runner. I mostly just do one position, one stop and target. I usually don't do multiple targets. But in some cases it's good, like this. Okay, we're starting to see some up momentum now. We are below the moving averages, below VWAP, below the 50 and the 200. So there won't be any long signals coming up here. If you want to get aggressive, I can turn off filters by moving averages, and it won't look at that, and it'll probably bring one up. So it's just going to ignore the moving averages as a filter. We are finally we had one candle at 9:33 that showed positive momentum. We are finally peaking above positive momentum now. Gosh, that was a big push. Look at that. Oh, minus 80. And just something to note here. We turned around, and look at what happened when we turned around. Order speed peaked, and we turned around. So when order speed is higher, it's more likely to turn around. Not every time. But usually when it does. I mean, obviously we had order speed coming in here on the push. So there's no indicator that's standalone. Obviously, you wouldn't just use this to trade, but just saying that if you were thinking, hey, it might be a reversal, you were looking at other things, and then after you looked at other things, you look down and say, you know what? The background turned green. We had higher order speed. Maybe a reversal, but I don't trade reversals. I have traded reversals. Not fun. It's just too heavy. Too heavy. Too tricky. It takes time to reverse. It's up and down. I like momentum. Like after it's already reversed, we got a lot of shorts to run here. I don't want to see it come up. I would love to, well, not much. I would love to see just hang out here for a bit and have a nice leg push. A next leg down. Let's analyze this for a minute. So we've come down, we've made a low, and we've come up. Order speed is just kind of in the middle. We are seeing big positive momentum on the 1 minute, not on the 2 minute. We are coming up, but the bars are still red on the 2 minute. They'll be red as long as the moving averages are red. Not the cloud, but just the lines. And the lines change color based on slope. So you'll see these ones are starting to turn green just because the slope is higher. That's why. And then the cloud changes color when there's an actual cross of the slow and the fast. So when this bottom crosses above the top, that's when the cloud will change. But the lines themselves change with slope. So it kind of gives you a heads up that, hey, okay, slope's changing. If we keep going, we could possibly have the lines cross soon. It's just a nice little visual. But what I'm seeing on the 2 minute is the bar outline is still red. Okay. These are based on like stochastic, RSI, and other things, ATR. So we get the background screen. Okay, that's an ATR indicator. So that's up. Outline's red. Bars are red. Momentum's red. Order speed is decreasing as we're coming higher. And well, as we get later in the day, it's going to decrease. But so if we, I'm feeling like it's more of a leg down. Well, that's what the chart's telling me. I'm not deciding that necessarily. But, momentum didn't even change there. We're back to red on the yeah, we're back to red background on the 1 minute. That looks like just a breath for another leg lower. I would like to have a signal in these next couple bars, and I would love to run these lows. There's a bunch of stops there. Ton of people are trying to buy this up right now. Well, it's got to reverse eventually. How can it go 400 points and not reverse? That's why I trade momentum, because well, that's why I like to. I trade other ways too, but I do have a scalping style I trade, but it's also momentum based. It's just reversing it. It's trying to catch when the momentum gets way oversold in this case, and order speed and a couple other things, and then take a small scalp back. So it's still a momentum trade, but instead of trading with the momentum, I'm kind of trading against it in a way, trying to detect when momentum is overexhausted. That's another scalping you'll see in the room there. It's called rip and dip. I usually trade that pre-market. I'm probably just going to focus on the momentum this week. But yeah, I mean, I love momentum because the indicators you get are what's happening right now: order speed, momentum. That's what I like. I find trading highs and lows and reversals and all that a little bit more tricky, I guess. But with the good order flow data that we can get these days, it's really nice. It's really nice to trade momentum because you can get a lot of really good data to help you out. Okay, so we're just hanging out here. We got the bar outline green. Hasn't closed yet. Momentum's still down though. I would love to make a little higher low in quotations here and run that, and then run these lows. We can look at other charts if anybody's interested. If anybody's looking at anything else, I do have other charts up. I have RTY, GC, YM, ES, CL. Pfft. Meh, I don't like that. I don't like CL. It's alright. I know people do well on it, but there's a bunch of instruments to trade. I don't need to trade CL. It's a little bit, I don't know, silly sometimes. I like the indices. That's my favorite. It just it makes the most sense to me. I love watching them all together. You know, you watch the S&P, the Dow, the Russell, the Nasdaq. You can watch them move together, and I like that. It gives me clues. It gives me hints. You know, you might see, for instance, the S&P and the Nasdaq coming up, or in this case, we'll say going down pretty hard. But you might see the Dow not coming down quite as hard. It's kind of struggling to come down, where the other two are just flying down. So you know there's a difference. It's called beta. So there's a big beta between the Dow, the ES, and the NQ in that example. And what you would look to expect is once ES and once NQ start to kind of come up, because the YM was struggling to come down when the other two were coming down, you can bet that YM really wants to come up. It's just waiting for the other two to confirm and to come up. So I like watching them together like that. Stocks are good too. If you take some of the big blue chip stocks that are in these ETFs, they can give you some hints too on what's coming next, because they're the ones that move the ETFs sometimes. But yeah, so the indices are what I like. You know what? Gold's not too bad. It's not too bad. It can trend nice. It can trend nice. But the YM could trend nice too. It flows pretty nice. The YM flows pretty nice. But sometimes it's a little tricky with momentum, because it kind of, there's times when the YM just kind of goes. It decides, okay, we're just gonna go. We're not gonna go too fast, like an old guy walking to the store. He ain't gonna go too fast, but he'll get there. So sometimes it's hard to detect the momentum, whereas the Nasdaq's like a 100-meter sprinter. When it goes, it's gonna run, and you're gonna see it. Anyway, just chatting my head off here. But, yeah. So we got, for our buddy Holy here, we're going to draw something for him. He's probably going to guess right now what I'm going to do. That's what I see. No, I can't go back far enough to find a good line, but it might be too much of an angle. I'll try to match the top one, because that's solid. I'm going to go a little more conservative from the body there. So we can see price is starting to compress. If we draw a couple trend lines, we're starting to get compression. Order speed is starting to slow. We do have positive momentum, but not a lot. It's still, these lines are kind of where my lines in the sand, the cyan, and then the magenta. If it's in between those, it's kind of a neutral momentum. I look for it to push outside to really tell me that there's strong momentum. So at this moment, we're seeing weak momentum. There's going to be a lot of stops here, a lot of stops here. People are going to try to buy this up. This could be a big old trap. And personally, I'd like to see it come down. I'd like to see it come down. I think there's more downside here. And I guess because I don't trade unless I'm over the 150. 100 moving and the 50 moving. So for it to come up and actually give me a good signal today, I don't think it's going to happen. Not during this session. So there we go. We had a bit of compression there. Momentum switched. Order speed's increasing. As price is coming down, now we're starting to see some order speed. Big ol'. Yeah. So, yeah, coffee. We're muted in here. Sorry. Well, I don't mind talking to you. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, I just kind of wanted to keep it trading focused. So here we have a ghost signal on the 1 minute. So these pink dots for down and cyan for up, this dot will appear and disappear when there's a potential signal coming. So this is going to tell me, hey, when this, right now, if this next bar opens, it's going to print a signal. Now it won't. Now it will. You see, it just tells me when the conditions are ready to print a signal, but the signal won't print until the bar opens. So here we go. So there's the signal. So I took that one. So I like that. I took it. I called it. It wasn't a 2-minute signal though. We'll see. We got the green diamond, which was telling me a potential shift in momentum towards the upside. And we're seeing positive momentum there. We'll see what happens here. My target is 21,472. I got in around right here, 13. My stops are right here, 63. Right above these little highs. I'm trading the 2-minute, really. So, 2 candles plus a couple ticks. And we're doing a bit of 1-to-1 here. So, yeah, the bar timer, coffee. This is free from Ninjaco. If you go to Ninjaco and look at their free indicators, they got a bunch of free stuff. The only deal is that you got to put your email in, and they're gonna blow up your inbox. But that bar timer is free, and it'll tell you different things too. It's not just this. It'll tell you like ticks. So if you're doing a tick-based chart and it's 1,000 ticks, it'll count down the ticks. You know, if you're on 1,000 tick and you're at 800 ticks, it'll tell you, and it'll name them. Or if you're on a Renko, it'll tell you how close you are to building the next bar. So it tells you everything. The upper and lower. Okay, so the lower is speed tick level. This is, you'll notice from my other trading, if you remember, I would watch for a speed tick to print on the chart. It would be like a little arrow, tell me that order speed is high. Well, it's that indicator, but the other version of it is just having it on the chart like this. So before, when you would see the white arrow, it would indicate that the order speed has moved higher than this moving average. The cyan arrow would be this one, and the dark blue arrow would be this one. So that's all that is. So this is just order speed. It's literally the speed of the orders, how fast they're being executed in the market. So it's watching every single tick, and it's measuring the speed of the ticks coming in. The one at the top, it's just a simple momentum. I think it's like a CMO, it's called. But I've modified it a little bit to have colors. And then I just have the I modified it to have lines and stuff, so I just kind of set it there. It's my idea of where more of a neutral momentum is, and if it breaks above. Yeah, as you were saying earlier about the inspiration, I think some of it is definitely inspired from you just making stuff, and I got into figuring out some AI, and I don't know, yeah, you did it, and I think it's awesome, and I wanted to do it too. So it definitely, well, something I've always wanted to do, but I never had AI back in the day, right? To write code, you always had to pay somebody, and for some instances, you still need to, right? It's sometimes it's difficult to work with, but it can do some things for me enough that I can play around. So, yeah, so I kind of put it together. Things were difficult to make. It has trouble, you know what, in NinjaTrader, it has trouble with colors. When I wanted to do the background color, fill in these lines or change colors, it has trouble with that. For whatever reason, it doesn't organize it right. So, but anyways, you kind of learn the limitations of it, I guess you could say. Where when I'm making an indicator in the future, I won't do too much on the color. I'll just focus more on the math because that's what it's better at. So there are limitations, but it can get you going pretty good. Okay. No problem, man. Yeah, sorry I wasn't on earlier at my normal time. I only got 4.5 hours sleep. I was having errors. My indicators wouldn't save. Like I would try to save a chart template and it wouldn't save because the way it was coded. So I had to figure all that out. But yeah. And even now I'm having a glitch. This background's supposed to be red, this fill, because it's down. And sometimes it just goes green. If I reload the chart, it'll go back to red. So there are definitely some glitches. Yeah, we gotta have a good talk coffee. It's been a couple days. So we'll have a chat here today or tomorrow morning or something. So, yeah. So you know what I've been using? And I love it? Grok 3. Grok 3 beta from X, Twitter. It just came out not too long ago, and it's wicked good, I think. But you gotta, I always preface it. So I have a certain, I've written out something, and we're coming into my target here, 21,472. That's my target here. I am in the trade. I'll just show that, like I am actually trading. I have one account. I have copied accounts, so I'm not just fluffing around here. But yeah, so I used Grok, and I have a command where it starts off. How do I read it? I don't even know. But basically, it starts off by saying, I'm making an indicator for the platform NinjaTrader 8, and there's documentation online of how to write the code. Please go online and familiarize yourself with how the code works. And I want to modify an indicator, and when we do it, make sure that the indicator compiles without errors in the NinjaTrader 8, within the NinjaTrader 8 framework. Tell me what you're going to change. Give me snippets of it. Tell me why it's going to work. And just something like that. You really got to tell it. You really got to tell it. And then once you give it a really good command, sometimes I give it example code. So I'll have indicators. I'll say, hey, you know what? This indicator, it shades the background. Can you look at that code, cut it out, and tell me about it so I know you understand? It'll tell me about that shaded background. I'll say, okay, now can you implement that into this indicator? So you really got to command it right. And I'm sure it's maybe good. I haven't used any other ones really for coding. Coffee will be the one to tell you, hey, what to use. He uses shit. I should have known because he suggested it. Coffee uses two, and he kind of compares them together. Yep. Boom. Pine script language reference model. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. You got a whole. That's what I got to get. A NinjaTrader reference manual. Claude and GPT. Yeah. I heard Claude's good. Yeah, it's pretty awesome how good this AI is getting. You didn't run nobody off. People are busy. No, no, we're all good. I like having you here, coffee. Oh, awesome to see you here, K9. Yeah, we're in a trade right now. Took this signal here on the 1 minute. My target's right here at this lows. I might just take it now. We'll see. So I took the trade there. I just covered. That's why the market went up. I've got so much pull. That's why it just snapped up. Yeah, I took it. It's just struggling there. I'm happy with that. Actually, what we'll do is... I gotta plot markers. I don't know why it's not plotting. But anyways, out at... I just gotta check. Okay, and it did end up hitting my target. I just didn't wait. My target was 72. So we just hit 72. So it did hit the target. But, you know, that's just how it goes. So I got out at 21.41.5. I don't know why they're not plotting, but... So we got about 32 points there. About 125 ticks. All right, well, I'm happy. I am shutting down. Shutting the copier off. I'm shutting the strategy down. And that's it. Yeah, I don't need grabbing 30 points, 32 points on the NQ. That's enough. We're good. 120 ticks. One contract, right? So I didn't take, I didn't peel anything off. Sorry, I should say, one target, one stop. I didn't do a runner or nothing. So just straight up. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I'm just going to mark it up and take a little screenshot here quick, just for records. So my entry was, and my stop was about there, I think. We're still coming down too. Wow, look at that. Could have took both those signals. There's another one on the 1 minute. Could have took that down too. Wow. Still down momentum. Oh, what a day. Holy crap. I can't believe 2 days in a row. This is crazy. Yeah, so John, this is, I guess, yeah, this is a new strategy that I'm using. I've tested. I'm not necessarily just trying it out, but I've tested it. I have market replay on NinjaTrader, so I have years of data downloaded. So I can go back and accurately replay them, replay the system and the indicators, not just sometimes indicators print differently when you just scroll back, when you load a chart and scroll back, but in real time they print differently. So what I do is, to make sure, go back and I'll print them live, and I'll run market replay for a month at a time overnight, record the screen, and I'll go back over that video just to see that everything's working right and whatever. So yeah, I mean, I've been doing this for 9 years, not full time obviously, but and I've traded a bunch of different styles. I've traded momentum before, I've traded reversals, I've traded a lot of different things. And I have a momentum scalping strategy, which is the rip and dip. I didn't invent that, but that's something I do trade. And basically it's scalping when momentum has got to an extreme. And I was streaming that, but you know what? It's kind of boring because it's so rule-based and indicator-based. Basically, there's nothing to do until a couple of indicators pop up, and then you decide if that's going to be a good trade for you or not. Other than that, there's no looking at any market. There's no looking at anything, and it's boring. And I wanted to do something that was more interactive. So I started looking for some things. I pulled ideas from, I pulled ideas from other indicators and other trades, and I put together something that works well for me. And I've modified the code. So yeah, I'm going to be doing this moving forward during the market. Main reason is because I'll make a lot more doing this than I will just doing the scalping. So I mean, that's another reason why I want to trade it. But other than that, it's more interactive. There's more to think about and talk. So yeah, so using the signals, there's discretion too, right? But so K9, what's going on? You're okay, yeah. This is more your time speed, eh? Yeah, well, I'm glad to have you. Good to see you here. Yeah, if there's anything else you guys want to look at. I mean, I'm just looking at the NQ because it's momentum. And obviously, that's where the momentum is going to be at. The other ones do well too. It's not something I trade every day, all day, but the YM. I guess today's a poor example because I guess anything would have worked. If you went short, you just would have, anything would have worked. So it's hard to show examples and say, hey, look, it works on this because it's just a down day. Everything's down, but still good signal. So here's the signal. It closes 2 bars up, 2 bars back is the stop, and then a 1-to-1 or slightly less. So it probably would have opened around here, 617. There you go. So about 80 ticks, right? 17. There. So that would have worked good. Down momentum. Background's down. Moving average is down. Candles color is down. Candle outline is down. And order speed isn't extreme. It's just average. It's not super low, not super high. That would have been A+ setup. Boom, hit the target 1-to-1, or you do maybe slightly less than a 1-to-1, maybe 0.5 or 1 to 0.5 for your first take profit, and then see. But I don't like that because if you get in here, well, it would have worked, I guess. By the time you got 80 ticks, but your break even, yeah, I don't know, but or just ride it till this turns green. So, yeah, would have been good on the YM. Same thing probably on a Friday or whatever day. Was that Friday? Yeah, nice one there. Boom, get in. This is what I like about the dynamic stop, which is I'm just going 2 candles back because sometimes the candles are bigger, sometimes the candles are smaller. So when the candles are bigger, that means the market's moving more, so it makes sense to make a bigger target. So in this instance, probably opens around here, 983. Yeah, so almost like 100 ticks stop. But then you got a couple hundred down. So it makes sense to have a bigger target when your stop's bigger. And the momentum decides that. So that's why I like to do a ratioed target on this. And yeah, so there's 100 ticks there, right? So, and the cool thing is that I've noticed from my testing is the stops are usually smaller. There's one at 9. Boom. 1-to-1. Stop here. Go. Good to go. The ones where I do get stopped out are generally the ones where the stops are shorter. Because, well, I guess I can't say why, but my thinking is because my stop is smaller, that means the distance from where I am and 2 candles back is smaller, which means there's less momentum. If the momentum is bigger, then these candles are going to be bigger, right? So generally there's just my losses are smaller because I'm getting into trades that don't have as much momentum and they're less likely to work. So it works out good. So maybe on the NASDAQ anyways, it's like, maybe have an 80 tick stop or something, and then I'll get days like this where I'm getting 125, 150, 200 tick targets. So yeah, I do run a bit of a negative risk reward on that trade. I'll do like a 1 to 0.75 or 1 to 0.85, just so I have a high probability on that trade, higher. That's how I like it. But then overall, my winners are bigger than my losers just because the dynamic stops. So it's great. If we assume the markets are perfect, a negative risk reward will just automatically give you an edge. If you assume that you get in the market and you literally have a 50-50 chance, then if you have a negative risk reward, which means your target is smaller than your stop, you automatically have an edge, in theory. So that's why I do that. But then, like I said, my winners are usually much bigger than my losers. So it ends up, in the end, I have a positive risk reward ratio, but then I have a positive theoretical positive edge, a positive theoretical edge on each trade because my target is smaller than my stop. If that makes sense. That's just how I do it. I mean, what I've put together here, I think, is just out of control. It's too good. Too good. Now I have the filter signals by moving averages off. I just turned it off. I usually have it on. So moving average 1 is the 50, 100, and well, I can change them, but I turned it off. So it's not filtering, because normally I would only take trades. I'm only going to take trades above for long and below for short. So I wouldn't trade that. But I just turned it off to see. I'm not that I'm going to trade it. But on a day like today, seeing what I see, I do like that. I like the switch of momentum. I like the big push we've had the last couple days. It does seem like a good setup. Order speed was a little bit getting up there. But I mean, if we did, I got to get a dot to mark the real close. I have a time-based chart to see the real close. Okay, 495. That was the real close on this. So if we go back 1, 2 candles, we would have just hit the target here at I think I have this set to 0.85. So I give myself a theoretical 15% edge in every trade just based on that. And we would have just nailed the target right there. So, I mean, this stuff works. Trading with momentum is where it's at, especially in the markets today. With how volatile things are, there's a president in the States who can just put a tweet out and the markets will go nuts. So, you get to trading momentum with the right indicators. You get to see when that momentum's coming in and take advantage of it. So that would have been... I don't trade aggressively. I'm not a cowboy, so I'm out. I'm done. I got 125 ticks on multiple accounts. I am not going to trade anymore. And, I've thought about maybe just taking one side account and playing around and doing trades like these, but it's kind of bad habit. And I don't want to build bad habits or go back to bad habits, right? Because we all have bad habits when we start. So I got what I wanted out of the market. And to be honest, if that's all I got for the week, that's all right. I mean, that'll do me just fine. But, yeah, but if somebody did those prop firms, you could do like a couple mains and you could have a couple side accounts where you just you take a little more risk and you just play around with signals that aren't as A+, but then you have I call them your nest egg accounts, where you just only take those good trades no matter what, and you kind of split up the risk that way. So that's one way to trade, is to not just use one account. That's what's great about the prop firms. So, I have 18 of them right now, so I can split them up. But, yeah, like if you had, say, just 10 or 5 or whatever, you would just do, these 3 are my nest egg. This one is my regular trading, and then maybe just a fun account or something where you just take fun trades, and if they lose, well, then helps you learn a lesson, and you don't take away from your nest egg. So I do have nest egg setups here where it's like you only get these trades a couple times a week. And I didn't get it today, but what it is for me is the first signal after the market open on the NQ and the 2-minute Heikin-Ashi. That's my nest egg trade. And it usually happens about 4 times a week. Well, it almost happens every day, the trade. But And I don't do it. Like if it's starting to get to 11 and markets are slowing down, then I decide not to do it. It's got to happen at between like 9:30. I like to see it like at 9:35, 9:40, 10, 10:30, somewhere around there. That's my nest egg trade. And there's some weeks it only comes 3 times. Some weeks it comes every day. But the win percentage, well, I don't want to say that, but it's higher than even seems possible, but it's very high. And those are my nest egg trades. The one I did today, that wasn't a nest egg trade. That was a discretion trade. So those didn't go on my nest egg accounts. Because my plan doesn't say to take the 1 minute signals on my nest eggs. So I really like the market and the price action there, so I took it. But yeah, so there's my little rant about that. Nice little trade there on the 1 minute. That's high risk though. Even below the 50. See if I filter it. Filter by moving average 1. As soon as I hit that. And now it moves. Now the signal moves. So it qualified down here. And everything was qualifying. The only thing it didn't have was a close above there. So now that it had closed above the 50, that's where the signal went. That was the last condition it needed. Now if I do the 100, it ain't going to show up at all because we're still below the 100. And I can filter by, I have something called lightning trend. So it's a trend line, but it's based on ATR and CCI periods. It's similar to like a super trend or trend magic or those things. So I have 3 of them, and I can filter signals by that too. And I can filter by VWAP, but I don't. It doesn't help a lot of the time for what I want. So enable. Yeah, so there's different ways to set it up depending on risk and whatever. But yeah, I'm still working on the indicator, so it's like still in a beta stage. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what'll come of this. I'm just going to stream it and trade it. And I don't know if people like it or whatever. Somebody wants it. Maybe we could figure something out that way. Yeah, but it's not too hard. Like, I mean, it's easy to get entries too. So if it's on screen share, you can see what's going on. So we'll see. Yeah, but it's still in the beta versions. Okay, so hey John, for the biggest things to look at for momentum. Good question, really. I can't say that there's one answer because different things will work for different people. And it really depends on how you perceive markets. It's going to depend on what's the best for you. A lot of people like volume. This isn't volume at the bottom. This is order speed. It measures each and every tick, and it tells me the speed of each and every tick. Each and every order that gets ordered right now is being measured. So this isn't volume, this is order speed. That makes more sense to me. I like that more. Some people like volume. They like to see how many orders are there. They don't really care about the speed of it. So it just depends on how you perceive the markets and how you look. But for momentum, it's basically, well, you want to know the speed of orders. You want to know the speed of price change. Okay. So if price is changing fast, like, between now and the last 30 seconds, between now and the last 2 minutes, between now and the last hour, the rate of change of price is what you really want to look for, because that is momentum. And that's at the top. That's basically what that momentum indicator shows, is the rate of change of price. So how much time has passed by and how much has the price changed, and in what direction has it changed. So we got up momentum. That means the rate of price change has increased, and it's increased positively. So we got up momentum. So I'm going to say the biggest things to look at, essentially at the root, that's what momentum trading is. The rate of change in price and in what direction is changing. And then once you kind of figure that out, then you can layer on, like, okay, well, what am I going to use to tell me the rate of change of price? What periods am I going to look back for? Am I going to look back 2 days? This momentum thing at the top, it actually looks back a couple days, and it calculates in some things from a couple days ago. Yeah, it's real time, but it's it looks back, and it calculates momentum today, right now, based on yesterday and the day before. So that's looking back. What else do we got? We have this background change for me. So this background change, you'll notice it's not really aligned with anything, because it's its own indicator. What it is an average true range. So it looks back 8 periods. Whatever the time frame is, it'll look back 8 periods. It'll take the high and low of the ATR, multiply it together, like add and minus it together to find the mean, and it'll times it by 1.3, and it'll add 1.3, and it'll add bands above and below this bar. So if it goes 1.3 times the average ATR of the last 8 bars, then the background's going to change. So that's telling me the rate of change is above average over the last 8 bars in an upwards direction. If price is just going up slowly, it won't necessarily change, because the ATR is going to kind of readjust. So you're not seeing momentum, and the background won't change. Let's see if I can see a spot where. Hard to show up. But like here, for example, I guess you could say, the candles were coming down a little bit, but the background didn't change because it didn't come down fast enough to break those ATR, to break the ATR envelope. You can't see it, but it's there in the background. So that's one way I am calculating the rate of change of price. So if it doesn't move fast enough, the ATR is going to readjust, and that background won't switch. It's not going to tell you, hey, we have a switch in momentum. So that's basically it. I like order speed, like I said. There's a couple other things we got on here. So you find what works. The slope is telling me the moving averages are directional. They tell you direction, right? So they're not necessarily momentum exactly, but you, like I said before, you need rate of change of price, but you need the direction as well. So you need to combine that. So this is a directional indicator, not really a momentum one in a way. This is telling me where the direction is. So the lines, they change based on slope. So you'll notice these lines just turn green. It's because the slope is rising. But then once the slope crosses over, the background will change and go green as well. So this is kind of just giving you a heads up, like, hey, the slope's starting to change. We might be, the direction might be changing soon, and then the green comes, and then you get to here where they're back in alignment, like back here, and you know, okay, the direction has changed. And then you look, well, where's our momentum? Overall, it's down because we're under the 200, we're under the VWAP and all that, but very, very short term, the momentum is up. We can see it from the momentum oscillator. We can see it from the bar outline. The candle's color based on the moving averages. So even though these are up candles, they're still red because the moving averages are red. So it's just telling you that where momentum is, rather than if there was an up or down movement in that couple minutes, because the momentum is more important. So as far as order speed, I just want to make sure that there's not a huge spike. If I get a signal and I'm waiting for the bar to close to get in, if this order speed's way, way, way high, it could signal exhaustion. And I'm going to think twice about taking that trade. So let's filter these signals. Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question there, John. Rate of change of price plus directional movement equals momentum. Yeah, if you could get machine learning to analyze the order flow, that would be easy. It's just a matter of making it work, but you might want indicators. You know, if you can get one like this at the bottom, the order speed, well, that would be a good one for the machine learning to look at, because it would say, okay, well, when order speed is above 2,000 and price is down, and you know, the average true range is at 2 ATRs or something. It needs some things to look at. Just watching orders come through the market and not giving it what to look at might be challenging. I mean, it would just take a lot longer, but it could look at just the order flow, but I mean, you got to look at different aspects of order flow. Oh, we're getting some good up momentum. More up momentum than we've had in a while. Since a little while ago. This is a good move. I wonder if it'll just come and finish the day where it started. If it does, I think we're primed to squeeze all these shorts out. We'll see what happens. Nice double bottom there. Look at that. UICT guys would be laughing. Take this order block. Stop below the lows. Yeah, where's all the ICT guys? I'd actually like somebody to come on here another time on chat there and go through, if they trade ICT, just go through it. Show me. I know it's super popular. I know there's a lot of guys that do it. I looked at it a little bit a couple of years ago and just wasn't for me, but I'm always interested in it. So many people trade it. Seems like everybody coming in, every new guy coming into the market now is just, seems like that's kind of the first thing they look at. Oh shit, yeah, look at that. Nice run up. I don't know if I should turn these filters off for the stream or what. Because I know I'm looking at other charts here, and that was a good one, cross above the 50. That was just a stop below the second candle there. Boom, you would have hit the target. I'm just too picky about my trades. That's the thing. Yeah, so my model, I didn't actually create it. I got it from a guy. But let me just bring up a chart for you here quick. You're not familiar with footprints, eh? So this is what I got. It's called Polarity Machine Learning Beta R9B. But let's indicators. Let me bring up the footprint for you and show you more or less what it's looking at though. God, what a killer day, man. Oh, some really good trades here today. You literally could have just traded the background today. Red, short. Green, get out, go long. Red, go short. Green, get out, go long. It was that easy of a day. You could have just traded. That. Unbelievable. Or you could have just traded the trend here. Red go short, green go long. Yeah, I'm just bringing up a chart here. I just got to adjust it here. It's been a while. Okay, so here we go. So this is the footprint chart. So I just have it on a tick or whatever. Range bars work too. So, and it shows imbalances. So these highlights, they're order imbalances in the market. So in a footprint chart, you have the candle, and then on each side, you have the price and how many orders. I have it set to 8 ticks per level, so which means each of these levels is 2 points. It's going to span 2 points, and it'll tell you what happened. I can set it to 1 tick or whatever, and it's going to show imbalances, and I have a ratio to set for the imbalance too to show. So when this number turns blue, that means the ratio of imbalances is different. So 76, and you look here, 36, so you can see there was almost double the amount of orders here, 60 and 30, so almost double. 122 versus 60. So this is an order imbalance, which means on the buy side, there was 122 more orders that hit the bid or that marketed in basically versus the 60 that was sitting there. So there's an imbalance. And imbalances happen when the market moves. If the market's going to move hard, there's going to be an imbalance there. If I go back to a Fed day, you're going to see it. So right, if I scroll back enough, it'll just come up as a dot to make it easier to see. But yeah, so these are all imbalances. So what it's trying to do is look for stacked imbalances. So we're looking at, here's a double stacked imbalance here. Double stacked imbalance, the quad stacked imbalance. And depending on if the market's trending or if the market is more chopping, so will depend on how it's traded. So if price isn't moving smoothly, like delta at the bottom isn't in line with the direction, if it's not like that, like this for instance, you got positive delta here, negative candle, positive delta. I guess the candle come up a little bit choppy. You would trade like a mean reversion, so then you would get a stacked imbalance outside of the range, and it would trade back into the mean. But if the market looks like it's trending, you would trade with the stacked imbalances. So that's the idea of this footprint chart. There's different ways to use it. Here's volume on the side too, or sorry, tells you the point of control. So this is where the highest volume was. and it can show you different levels. But yeah, so I mean that's a footprint chart more or less. It just gives you a bar and it tells you the orders on each side. There's a bunch of different ways to use it. You can look for unfinished auctions, they call it. So if you go, or finished auctions, I forget what they call it, but basically when you go to the top, hopefully you can see it on the stream. I can't hardly see it on my screen. You got a 0 there and a 59. Which means there's 59 buy orders, but nothing's selling. I think they call that an unfinished auction. So what that tells you is there was a bunch of buy orders, aggressive buy orders, but no aggressive sell orders. But look, price come down. So when price comes down, or up on the other side, but when price comes down after an unfinished auction, that's going to tell you that there's a lot of resting sell orders here because it wasn't aggressive. They didn't sell on the bid. They were just sitting there. So we had a bunch of aggressive buying, and then you look over here. There's another big imbalance. 472 bought 120. So there's a big imbalance there as well. So we have an unfinished auction, a big imbalance, and look, price comes down. That's telling you that there's supply in the market right there. There's a lot of resting orders. Aggressive buying, but price comes down. So it's passive orders pushing the market down. So that's how somebody, if they were going to trade footprints, they would say, okay, that looks like a nice reversal for me. That's how they would trade it. Amongst other things, of course. But that's the base idea. If you're just looking like how a footprint chart works, it's raw order flow, right? It's telling you the exact orders at what price. Not all of them have stacked imbalances built in or whatever, but there's different footprint charts. But yeah, so it's good to feed a ML this data because it's raw. You know, it'll look at stuff like where the orders are, the volume of it, the point of control. Definitely not the only way, but see, look at we come down. Perfect. Unfinished auction, heavy buying, down bar, huge imbalance there. There's a lot of supply sitting there. A lot of supply. Yeah, I just have it set to a 3000 tick for the NQ. Delta, look. Positive delta. You see this too? Positive delta, which means positive buy pressure within that candle, but it come down. So if it has positive buying pressure, but it comes down, now positive aggressive buying pressure, and it comes down, that means there's resting orders. So you look for divergence as well. Positive delta, but a down candle. And then now you look, okay, negative delta, negative candle, negative delta, negative. Okay, so now the market's gone from a low entropy and now it's coming into, it's gone from high entropy, now it's going into a low entropy state, which means high entropy means like a lot of randomness, and low entropy means less randomness and more clean direction. Yeah, here you see positive delta. So negative delta, positive candle, positive. It just chopped. Now that we're coming down, it's starting to have low entropy, which means it's less random. It's more in line. So, anyways, I don't know what else to say there. Is what it is. I don't use them. I have used them. I just play around. I mean, it's just what I do. Simple as that. So. Oh, look at this. Too sexy. I'm listening to a song. Too sexy for this. Oh, look at that. Oh. Oh, I can't get over it. Look at that. Bang. And look here. Order speed accelerated. It's got almost to that blue moving average, which is the high one on this candle. Order speed, it got pretty high. Like, it's been a while since the order speed. When was it? Last time we actually had the same order speed was about an hour ago. Over an hour and a half. Highest order speed, an hour and a half. Big up candle, and then what happens next? Price comes down. Why? Because order speed went so fast and accelerated so hard, it exhausted itself. And it's even more prevalent on the 1 minute chart. Look at that. Huge spike. Still hangs out, and then it comes down. It wants to rebalance this area. Like, if you remember the footprint chart we just looked at, it's going to have gaps in the order flow. If you were to look on it, you would see zeros on the left side. Or on both sides in some instances. And it's going to cause a gap, just like you would see on a daily chart on stocks where they gap. This causes a gap in the order flow when the order speed accelerates really high. So price is going to want to rebalance that area. And that's what it's doing right here. It's literally where this order speed picked up, it's rebalanced right now. See this little high? We've got to rebalance from that order speed. So we've recovered. And we're back into like more of a neutral state. So if it wanted to keep going, this would be a healthy pullback for it to keep going. Because we're all balanced in the book. These wicks and stuff, that all balances itself out. The wick down, balance this, balance that. This is a balanced book. This is an unbalanced book. And when you add that with, well, you can tell by the candle sometimes, but the order speed as well. It didn't have enough time to fill all the orders. So it comes back and does that. And then now that's a healthy pullback, and now if it wants to keep going, it'll probably have a nice run. And it looks like it's going to have a big old short squeeze here. Just judging by, same thing, it happens on all time frames. So you're even going to look here. Yeah, it's on the shorter time frame here, it's kind of rebalanced. But really, the order book's pretty thin there. There's not a lot in the way. Like, this can rip right up to these lows here like nothing. You know, the book is thin, so this is why short squeezes happen. If you think about the footprint chart. So, yeah, I mean, this can squeeze right to here. No problem. Blow past VWAP. Bunch of people stop at VWAP. If I were to get a signal, here, this would be a good little liquidity run. I ain't going to do it. Not at this time of day. Yeah, we're holding momentum too. Good momentum there. Yeah, you could have even took the 50 break. Bang. Yeah, I mean, I'm trading this conservatively. If somebody wanted to get aggressive, you could really trade the crap out of it. Like, even this 50 break. So you would get in like here or wherever, 47. You know, that's a 20-point stop. Well, before, I think we got like, 30, 40 points. So, yeah, this is less likely to go, but the stops are shorter too. So you could do that. Give yourself a negative risk reward on that trade, but overall, your win earlier would have been bigger than this, no matter what. But knowing that you have a built-in higher probability of winning the trade because the risk reward is negative. I mean, sometimes somebody could justify it and say it's worth it. Yeah, what a good little run up. Days like today, you just make bank when you're trading momentum and trend. You could do both with this. I mean, you could trend trade with these, get in on the momentum, and then set a runner for the trend. I mean, every trend starts with a momentum shift, right? So I think we have a veteran in here that would feel exactly what I'm saying. But yeah, so I mean, you start scalp the momentum shift and then hold for the trend. I literally think that's what Coffee does. Well, I know that's what he does. But yeah, he's got his own. Yeah, if you guys get talking to Coffee, his name's Coffee Killer. He's an older fella, and he's been trading for probably like 30 years, 40 years. He's got his own indicators. He's got a whole suite of them, and they're on TradingView. And if somebody's nice to him, he'll give them to people, and they're pretty good. I don't have them up here, or do I? I don't have him up here at the moment, but he's got some pretty good indicators for TradingView, which are free, and I guess they're a lot similar to mine, where they're going to show you who's in control, and it marks the trend for you and stuff like that. So, he was saying that after looking at this, it looks similar to what he has, and yeah, you know what, he's kind of right. So, if you guys get chatting with Coffee Killer there, he's happy to most of the time talk to you about stuff or show you what he's got going on too. He's working on moving all his stuff from TradingView. I guess I shouldn't say moving it, but duplicating it onto NinjaTrader. That's because he trades on NinjaTrader for the trade management. You can just manage trades a lot better. I mean, it's just better for NinjaTrader is just better for doing certain things. TradingView is great. It's honestly fantastic for what it is, but it does have limitations. But there's a lot of things people wouldn't use on NinjaTrader, so it wouldn't make sense for them. But as far as custom indicators go and strategies and automation, it's the way to go. But I will say TradingView does hold its own. Oh, I just realized I had a trade on. I don't know how that got on just one of my accounts. What the heck happened here? I just noticed I had an open trade, so I closed it. I don't know what happened. Because I had already had realized P&L, and I was looking at the realized. And then I noticed unrealized, so I just closed it, and now it's almost triple the profit on that account now. Holy crap. Wow. Wow, I guess, what happened here? $10.45. Oh, whatever happened? I copy trades, right? So sometimes the copier messes up. So whatever my exit was, it ended up flipping the account long. And I've been long ever since 10.45. So I've been long since here. So 479. Yeah, so I just caught like, holy crap. I just caught like a 600 tick move. Holy Christ. By accident. That's crazy. That's wild. Gotta love when you accidentally get 600 ticks. Absolutely insane. I wish that was on all my accounts. Holy cow. I'd leave the country right now. We'd be traveling the world, I tell you. Holy crap. So I don't have a lot of like actual coding the ML. So I'm not super good that way. I just have ways to get things done using AI or using whatever, looking stuff up. I'm not going to say I'm good at it. But yeah, absolutely. So NinjaTrader is like the best for historical data. So let me show you. Hopefully you're looking right now. 11:52. Yeah, you just posted. Okay, so here's what I have. This is an add-on. NinjaTrader has its own way to do it. It's slower, but I have an add-on from this guy, and it's called the Replay Data Manager. So you can see here, this is market replay. So whatever instrument, let's choose like say oil. So there's oil. If you wanted to take the June 2025 contract, you click on that, or the June contract. You can get it from 24 or 25. So I could download whatever I want from there. Let's get rid of that. Let's say I wanted 2021, 2020. Like I can go back, whatever. I can get, if I want to download February 2014 or 2013, I can do it right here. Boom. And if I hit download 62 items, bang. This is, it'll just download it all right now. So right now I can go and I can do market replay. So I switch to a market replay connection and I can play these tick by tick as if it was live market. So that's what market replay does. And this is how you get the data for it. You just go download it for whatever instrument and you can go back. This, I don't know if you can do it on NinjaTrader because this add-on I got, the guy records his own data. So this is probably coming from his database of data. But, you know, whatever. That's not really the point. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying you can get data back for a long time. So that's how you download it. But then you can also go into historical data, which is, this is like the Ninja version way of downloading market data. Oh, you can just choose it. Oh, you can hit download here. And you can download it 1 day at a time here. So this is brutally slow. Like, it's terrible. So I've got that add-on. And it makes it way easier. Because it only does 1 day at a time. So you have to click download, wait for the 1 day. And then when you're ready, click download for the next day. With the other one, I can just download whatever. I could download 10 years all in one click if I wanted. But anyways, that's not my point here. So you can, historical data. So I think you can actually, if you need a more detailed data, like tick by tick, like replay data, it is tick by tick, but it's not as detailed as historical. So you can generate bars by imported tick data, or you can actually record your own. So if you want your own data, I don't know where it is because I've never done it, but you would have to leave NinjaTrader open during the market, and you could set it to record the data yourself, and you could have tick by tick exactly how it come out historical data. Now it takes a long time to load, but that's how it goes. But even the market replay is really good for an ML model, and what you do is you just got to export it. So there's a NinjaTrader add-on to export it, or you attach the ML model via an API to look at this data. But either way, the data is really, really good in NinjaTrader. I mean, I don't know how you could really get any better. So, yeah, if you need 10 years of tick-by-tick data, pretty much you can download it at a click. So, I would say it's very good. I'm, as other people would say, I'm married to NinjaTrader or something. I just like it. I've been using it for a long time. Whatever, in 25, probably 6 or 7 years. I've had NinjaTrader. I've used it. I've liked it. I've built things on it. It's my home. What's the add-on called? So this add-on, I don't even know how much it is because I got it in a suite with a bunch of indicators. I got a ton of things. It's called Replay Data Manager. It's by it's called just Replay Data Manager, and it's paid for though. Like you gotta buy that one for the market replay. And it's from a guy. I can give you his email or show you his website if you really want it, but it's not a free one. That one costs money, and I don't know what it would be. It might be, I have no idea, $300 or $400 or something. But I would buy it. I would pay monthly for that. It is just so essential. I keep my data up to date. At the end of every week, I update my data. I re-download it. So at a moment's notice, if I'm looking at something and I say, hey, you know what, how did this look like in replay or whatever? Boom, I can just click, enable replay, load the chart, and I'm good to go. So I like to have my data updated all the time for all my instruments, the micros and the minis, NQ, MNQ, all the common ones, like gold, Dow, ES. So, yeah, but without that manager, it's worth every penny of whatever. If the guy charged you $10,000, it would be worth every penny to me, because I've done years. I've spent thousands of hours in replay. Even back when I was working, I would get up in the middle of the night and I would do replay. Oh, it's the best thing. The best thing for doing strategies like this. If you're gonna do news and earnings and stuff on stocks, can't really replay that. But if you're gonna be testing strategies and indicators, I mean. And that's what I do too. The other guys, I stream it on the weekends. I'll just do market replay, practice, get good, have fun. Okay, so here we go here. I'm not going to trade it, but this would, we're at 12. I don't trade past noon. But if this happened earlier, Look at that. We come right up. We touch VWAP right to the penny. That's why I leave VWAP there. Right to the penny. Volume weighted average price. And here we come back down. And I bet you if that was below the 50, it would be printing a signal right soon. Printing a signal right soon. Maybe not. We're just starting to get down momentum. Order speed is looking rather normal. We did have a nice spike near the top. Boom. Push right into that VWAP. Bang! That's what they did. They pushed it right in there to get a good sell for the day. Hey, holy. Yeah, dude. I got a good trade in today. 100 and something, 120 ticks or something. And it wasn't even my golden setup. It was just a 1 minute kind of dealio. The Rain Man. Yeah, so got a signal in the 1 minute. I have all the moving averages filters off, so it's going to pop a lot more signals. Look at this call. Oh, it's noon, yeah. All right, I don't have to go. I'm having fun. I'm tired of coding. I spent probably 50, 60 hours the last couple days just on here coding. It's nice to get a break, trade the code, and make the money. So yeah, what do we got here? I just got one call. Oh god. These guys are probably gonna push it up during lunch. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna push it up on thin volume during lunch. And then once the people come back in to buy, they're gonna in the afternoon they're just gonna sell into that heavy. So they have something to sell into. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, here we go with the signal. Well, there's the signal. The real one. We're over the 100, over the 50. But that's kind of a doji candle. Not really a high momentum candle. But we'll see what happens here. I mean, noon isn't the time of day to trade anyways, so I'm just here. Well, I don't even know why I'm here, but just enjoying it, I guess. But yeah, okay. Well, you know what? I better move on for the day. Do some other things. Main chat's always open. Anybody wants to talk about anything or ask anything, we're all around. So yeah, thanks for the guys that showed up today, and hopefully you learned something and had some fun doing it. I did. And yeah, take care. Peace out. Yeah, no problem, John. Good to see you.